I know it.
All right, so I will go ahead and kick us off here.
Sounds good.
Okay. Hello, friends, and welcome to another episode of Authentic and Unaltered. With me today is Jim of Picker Jim S Sports
Hello.
Cards. Hi, Jim.
How are you?
I'm doing great. Thanks for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Well, today we're going to learn more about the man behind the channel, Picker Jim S, and get started with our interview here. So, my first question, Jim, when you were a kid, what sports did you play, and which one was your favorite?
Well, when I was a kid, I played I played everything I could play. When I was real young, I played soccer, basketball, and baseball. And then as I got into middle school, I stopped playing soccer and I started playing football. So I basically played football, basketball, and baseball right through middle school and high school. I would say my favorite sport to play at that time was basketball.
That was mine as a kid too. So
yeah, I always I don't know what it was, but I really enjoyed. I really love playing baseball too, and football too, for that matter. But something about basketball, I was a little bit better at basketball than I was at the other sports. So maybe that was part of the reason why I liked it more. But I don't know. I guess I always really just enjoyed playing basketball, and I had a hoop at the house, and I'd be out there, from after school until playing in the dock. I mean, with my friends and stuff. So yeah, it was a good time. I like playing all three sports though. Like I said, they were all fun. Football was fun. I used to like hitting people, and it was fun. It was fun. I really enjoyed playing sports when I was young.
sure.
Yeah.
As far as card collecting, what year was your first set getting started?
Yeah. So I started collecting probably around 78 was my first year that I started collecting. Um, just a bit, some kids from school would bring cards in, and you know, of course, like I said, I was always into sports and everything like that. So naturally, they would bring baseball and football cards to school, and I really, took a leg into that. And so, then you go to the market with your mom on Saturday morning and you see cards there, and you're like, oh, you're begging your mother to pick you up a pack or two of cards. And so, she'd get me a couple packs here or there, but not too heavy in 78. But then in 79, really, really got heavy into collecting. And
Yeah, I saw your well-loved cards VR for Theo, where you showed the 79 Yaz, and was that your first Yaz?
yeah, it probably was my first. Yes, yeah. My father, he was the kind of guy where, if you took an interest, in something, he would, help to encourage you to really do it. You know what I mean? And he wasn't a big sports fan, but he always encouraged me to play sports. And like I said, when I started getting interested in cards, he was all for it. And he would take me to card shows and stuff like that. And actually, in '79, he actually bought me the complete set of '79 Topps cards. And most of those, they the way they came, they were like just not like in numerical order. So
Oh,
I ended up putting them all in order, and then I used to separate them by teams and then put them back in order. And I just, they were played with, you know what I mean? So
yeah.
I still have those cards, but none of them are really in any good condition.
So they're all well-loved.
They're well loved. Yeah, that's exactly right. They were definitely well loved.
All right. So, anyone that's watched you has seen that you're a big, huge fan of Carl Yastrzemski. How extensive is your collection for him at this point?
I have his basic tops run, PSA registry. I've completed that, and then I've got all kinds of different issues like oddball issues and things like that. I have a lot of his stuff. Put it that way. Not even as far as just cards are concerned. Although I do have a lot of his cards. Um, I've got um, premiums and like team issued photos and a lot of those different things as well. Magazine covers that he's on, just anything to do with Yaz. I try to, if I get the chance to pick it up, I will. And a lot of the stuff I have, and some of the stuff that I don't have, I try to get if I can.
Cool.
You know what I'm saying?
Any particular Yaz cards your absolute favorites, or?
My favorites, yeah, sure. I can show you some Yaz cards if you want. If you
Sure.
want to take a look. So yeah, I pulled out my favorites. Obviously, I've got the rookie card. That's
Yeah.
um, that's one of my favorites of his. And then the second year card, I really like that one too. And the 65 is one of my favorites. He was praying for a pennant, and I'm a big fan of 71 tops. This card is, it's a portrait shot, which is kind of unremarkable, but just one of my favorite sets, 71 tops. And I the 76 tops is probably um, my favorite Yaz card as far as the tops run is concerned.
Nice shot with the swing follow through there, and
Yes, I I didn't pull it out, but another one that is sentimental to me is the 65 um, tops Yastrzemski card because that one my father actually bought for me when I was a kid, and I had it all those years. And just a couple years ago, when I got back into the hobby, I sent it out to PSA and had it graded, and it came back a 5, which is fine. But it's the memories of getting that card from my father when I was a kid. I just was like amazed. I thought it was like the coolest thing to get a vintage card of Yastrzemski. When I was like 12 years old or something. You know what I mean?
oh yeah,
So I actually didn't pull that one out, but that's for no other reason but the fact that I got that one from my dad. That one is probably is my favorite card of Yastrzemski, actually.
oh yeah, understandable.
Yeah,
So I know you got big love for Ted Williams too. How extensive is that collection for you?
Ted Williams. I don't have. I actually only have 2 playing days Ted Williams cards, and they're both the 54s.
Nice
So,
ones to choose, though.
and then I have several other cards. I have like the 70. What is it? 70 manager card where he was the manager of the Washington Senators or whatever.
Yeah.
And I have that card there, and I have some other cards of his that are post playing days cards. But that is a goal of mine to actually start working on picking up some more of his playing days cards. But we'll see how that goes. It's another one of those projects that you have way too many projects going on as it is, and
Oh, absolutely. And his aren't cheap. So
no, they're not. But I mean, it's one of those things where these 254s I picked up at the National. Oh no, this one I picked up at the National 2 years ago, and then this one I just picked up this past fall at a card show. So it's one of those things where if I see him at a card show and I can get a good deal on it, I will. Or maybe at the National this year, if I can find a good deal on one, I'll be happy to add it to the collection. But probably not something that I'm just going to go out, say, oh, I'm going to buy a Ted Williams card and just go out and buy it. It'll probably be more like a spur of the moment type purchase at maybe, like I said, the National, one of the card shows that I go to.
sure. I mean, I kind of feel like mine, which I pulled out since you were going to be with me,
There you go, 56, beauty.
was
Yeah,
an opportunistic find
nice.
because I was able to pick that one up during the time between when PWCC got kicked off eBay and started up their own auctions,
Oh
and
yeah,
before all the different channels started pumping them.
oh
So
yeah, yeah,
there were some bargains to be had during that little dark period for them.
yeah. And anytime you can get a Ted Williams card into the collection, I mean, you're never going to go wrong there. You know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
56 tops is just a beautiful set too.
Yeah, that's one of my favorites. So,
Yeah, me too. Some people ask me that. What's your favorite set? You know, they'll say, "What's your favorite vintage set?" And I'm like, it just depends on the day or the month or whatever. I mean, what my favorite set is today, you know, ask me next week. It might not be my favorite anymore. But yeah, 56, 54 tops, 56, you know, the 54 Bowman, 53 Bowman. I don't know. They're all, I love them all. You know what I'm saying?
and I believe that, as you will find in one of my upcoming questions. So,
There you go.
um, uh, in fact, is my next question. So, a lot of the videos that you produce end up showing a hodgepodge of cards that you pick up. And
Yep.
uh, I mean, is there anything in particular you are targeting, or is it just really you're just going to buy whatever strikes your fancy and presents yourself with an opportunity?
So both. Um, the three main things that I target at the moment. Um, Hall of Fame rookie cards. Um, I'm doing the top 100 cards of the 1980s set registry, PSA, and I have 80 of the 100 cards already. So there's 20 more that I need to get. Some of them I'm just never going to get just because of the rarity or
The
the
price at this point.
expense.
Yeah.
There's the 87 Dunris opening day set. There's an error card, Barry Bonds error card.
Oh, the Johnny Ray.
The
Yeah.
Johnny Ray, right? That's one of them. And you know, to get that PSA grade, if you can find one, even raw, they're very expensive. But to find one that's graded by PSA, you know, even if it's a 6 or a 7, you're looking at over $1,000. You know, and I don't love that card that much or that set that much that I would, you know, spend that kind of money on it. But I'm gonna try and get as close to 100 as I can. I know I'm not gonna get all 100, but I keep my eyes open. There's still some that are easily obtainable for me. It's just a matter of getting them. And every once in a while, I go through a spell where I just, you know, look and see which ones I need, and I'm like, all right, let me get this one, and I go buy it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So just to add it to the set, and so you know that's one thing that I target, and of course Hall of Fame rookie cards. I've been targeting those for a long time. I have quite a lot of them. I'm doing the PSA set registry for that as well, and I have quite a lot of them. Again, it's another set that you're not going to get them all. You know what I mean? Especially when
Yeah.
you get back to, you know, even like Clemente rookie, Hank Aaron rookie. I mean, some of the prices on some of these cards is, you know, the boat left the dock at this point. You know, maybe I can luck into one here or there, but I mean, I never expect to get them all. Mantle rookie, Willie Mays rookie. I mean, I'm not gonna probably never get those, but again, they're fun sets to do, and it's just try and get as many as I can, and work on it that way. When I get the chance to pick them up, I'm certainly going to, and you know those cards I always target as well. And a third set is actually a modern set, Tops Living. You know the Tops Living set that they have. I think they come out with a new card every week or something like that.
I'm not that familiar with the newer product lines, unfortunately.
So it's
So,
it's Tops Living, okay, and what top it's an ongoing set that's going to continue on supposedly forever. Who knows? And
Yeah,
what they what they have said that they're going to do. See, the cards are based off the 53 tops design,
sure.
and so what they're doing is they want to produce one card of every player who's ever played, and it comes out like I think they come out every week. I think they release 3 or 4 cards every week or so, and it basically you order it through Tops, and they only produce the amount of cards that have been ordered. So the print runs vary. They could vary anywhere from 1,000 or two, all the way up to 20,000 or whatever, just depending on how many are ordered. And so what I'm doing is for 2018, I started this project in 2018 when I got back into the hobby. Um, I had no direction whatsoever. I I collected when I was a kid, and then around 2000, early 2000s, you know, kids, a house, the wife, the dogs, you know, life
Sure.
got in the
Life.
way, and I just kind of faded away from the hobby. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And eventually, 2018, I had all my cards, all this 100,000 cards or whatever it was, which I had in storage for all those years. And I told my wife, I said, I think I'm just going to get rid of this stuff. I don't really collect anymore, and um, it's just taking up so much space and storage unit and everything like that. I said, I think I'm just going to get rid of this stuff. And so I took everything out of storage and stacked up, crates of cards in my living room. And I started looking through some of this stuff, and I said, "Wow, the memories and the good feelings started coming back to me. Some of the old players that I remembered, the sets, some of these old sets, from when I was a kid, um, and somehow I ended up going on YouTube, and I just punched in a search for baseball cards, and the first thing that popped up was Silver Jackify. Are you familiar with him?
yeah.
He's got a YouTube channel. So I started watching. I just clicked on it, and I started watching the video, and like the guy has so much passion for the hobby, and I was amazed. I'm like, look at this guy making videos, and people are watching him and commenting, and like I didn't even know that. I didn't even know that the hobby was still a hobby anymore. Never mind. So anyway, that was um that was the last week of December 2018, and I literally binge watched every one of his videos while I was sorting through like 100,000 baseball cards that I just got out of storage, and I was hooked. I was hooked right back in again from there, and anyway, I got off track here, but
No way.
so anyway,
Yeah.
I decided that I was back into the hobby now, but I didn't really know what I wanted to collect. And these Tops Living cards, they had just come back out with these. They had just started these back right around that time in 2018 sometime, and I thought they were beautiful looking cards. They are beautiful looking cards, and so I started picking up the Hall of Famers from 2018, and I bought up a bunch of them, and I in 2019 as well. I was buying the Hall of Famers, so all PSA 10s, and so just recently, maybe I don't know, a couple months ago, I went through and I realized that I had almost every Hall of Famer from Tops Living from 2018 and 2019 that they issued. So I figured I would complete the run of 2018, 2019 Hall of Famers. And so I only have one more that I need to get to complete that run. So that's my third thing that I'm targeting.
Okay.
I went a long way around the mulberry bush to answer your question, but
you came back eventually.
Those are my three things that I'm targeting. I target, and then my love of cards, I bounce around here, there, and everywhere when I see stuff I like. I mean, I got, the 90s inserts that I bought up a bunch of them from a card shop recently. I did a video on that. And, just any vintage cards. If I like them, I buy them.
Well, yeah, because I mean, that's what always made me wonder. For anybody that hasn't watched my channel long enough, one of the cards Picker Jim showed, months ago was a 1940 play ball Richard Kaufman.
Yeah.
Kaufman with the exact same spelling as my last name,
Yeah.
which then inspired me on a chase of who all has my last name in Major League history. And the three cards you see right up here are Richard Kaufman's 33 Gaudy rookie, his brother George Kaufman's 39 play ball rookie, and then Kevin Kaufman from 1988 Topps Traded Tiffany's rookie. So
Yes.
inspired by just seeing the card that Picker Jim showed.
That
So
was awesome. Man, that was a great feeling I remember when I did that video and you kind of made a comment, something like, you didn't really detail to me exactly what you were thinking. And I thought that was pretty cool right there. I don't remember exactly what your comment was, but then when you did the video explaining the whole thing, man, I was so happy to see that. That was such a cool thing, man. That really
yeah,
was. I was so happy that you learned about that from watching my video, and it was, your last name, and it was something that, you know, you felt like you wanted to go after.
yeah.
It was
I mean, that it's just totally makes sense now when you say you love every card out there because it just felt so random that you'd have that card. So
that I went to an antique shop and they had a bunch of like cards from the 40s and most of them were from the 40s and they were just like such a good price on them that I just couldn't even pass them up. I'm like, I'm just going to buy all these cards because they just were so reasonably priced. I said, the heck with it. They're great. They're great looking cards. Most of them were all common players, but I didn't care. I just figured, what the heck? I'm not going to leave them there for like a couple, $2-3 a piece or whatever they were. And sometimes that's one of the fun things I enjoy about collecting, especially vintage cards is, you get some of these players that you never heard of before, and you start looking into them and researching them. And man, some of those guys, besides the fact that some of those guys you never heard of were really good players,
yeah,
they had, some of those guys had a heck of a life that they led. And, a lot of them were, military heroes and, just love learning about the players from the past. That's one of the fun things to me for collecting vintage, and not even so much like a lot of the Hall of Famers and the players that we know. Most of us know about those guys, their history and stuff like that. But these guys that weren't household names, you don't necessarily know what their background history was, and it's so much fun to just research and learn about that. I love it.
yeah, it is fun. I mean, I've got very little history I was able to learn on my three Kaufmans because they're all pretty mediocre careers. But
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, but I mean, what you learned, I mean, you learned what you learned, right?
yeah, so so thanks for that, Jim. By the way,
Oh
so
yeah, my pleasure. Like I said, that was happy. I made that. I love that, man. That was awesome.
so speaking of a hodgepodge of cards, you want to show us some more cards now?
Yeah, what are you interested in?
Whatever you want to show, buddy.
How about a 1922 W575 Rube Marquardt?
Awesome.
Yeah, this is the highest graded one right here. They say it's hand cut, but apparently, according to Dave Blue Jacket 66, it is. These cards are not hand cut, even though they're designated as such.
That's what the W means, or
W.
I'm sorry, I don't know all the designators yet.
Yeah, W. I'm not sure off the top of my head what W is either. This is a 1909 E92 Crofts Candy, Eddie Collins. I love this card too. Here's the
Nice.
back. It says Crofts Candy on the back. I bought this card raw at a antique shop,
Wow.
and I had it graded. And it's such an awesome card, man. I love that card.
Yeah, the green just pops.
It does. It does. And of course, Eddie Collins is a Hall of Famer and played for my Red Sox for a period of time, and also was the general manager of the Red Sox. And many people say he was responsible for the Red Sox signing Ted Williams.
Cool.
So I'm pretty sure this is the oldest card that I own. How about a 1953 Bowman Mini Minoso?
Classic.
I love this card. This is one of my favorite cards, by the way. Another one I bought raw and had graded. Got the Satchel Paige 53 Tops.
That is awesome. It's so hard to be able to get a card of his now.
I know. I'm thankful. I was able to get it. I don't know if you know Filmington. You aware of
I know of the channel, yeah.
Yeah, he lives local to me. I actually bought this card off him, and he gave me a really good price on it at the time, and I wouldn't have been able to buy it otherwise. So I'm thankful to him. I'm very thankful to him for that. I saw you talking about Kellogg's cards. Here's a 1972 Kellogg's Jim Palmer.
Yeah.
I just love the vintage Kellogg's cards. I have a few others too. I have the 69 Clemente, which I don't have in hand. I actually sent that to PSA to get that graded. So I actually don't have that in hand. Here's a couple of. What you got?
Oh, I was looking for that beat up 72 I had, but I've got actually a nicer one that's supposed to be in the mailbox right now that I haven't checked the mail yet.
Oh yeah, you bought one?
Yeah, I found one that is not supposed to be cracked. So.
Then Kellogg's cards are notorious for cracking. I guess it's just the type of material that they're made out of, but they are notorious.
Oh yeah, they're so delicate.
Yeah, they're notorious for cracking. So if you can find nice ones that aren't cracked, those are the ones you want to go after. But I really like the Kellogg, especially the older ones. Once you get up into the 80s, I don't so much. 80, 81 is pretty good, but then they started making them kind of a little bit gaudy after, in the mid 80s.
Yeah, I'm just going for the three Mays, the 70, 71, and 72. So
yep.
I already have the 70 that Matt from the card story gave me, and then the 72 that should be in the mailbox is a decent one. So I'm still in the hunt for the 71.
71. Apparently 71 Kellogg's cards are a little bit more rare than some of the other years. I believe, I could be wrong, but I believe it's my understanding that the other years, like 72, 73, you could get them not only in the cereal boxes, but you could order them through the Kellogg's company, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I saw somebody talking about that where you send them box tops or something and a check and they'll send you.
But I believe 71, you only through the cereal boxes, I think. I could be wrong, but I remember John Mangini talking about it one time, and he said that definitely said that the 71 Kellogg's cards are a little bit more rare than the others. So that's always something to keep in mind too if you see them, that you want to pick up nice 71s.
Yeah, the only ones I've seen so far up are cracked ones. So,
like I said, that's not uncommon. They're notorious for cracking. That's why I got the that 69 Clemente. It's got like a little tiny little hairline crack, like down by the corner that you can't even really see unless you looking at it real close under light. So that's why I decided to send that to get graded. And I also have a '69 Johnny Bench that is like puff too, man. That thing doesn't have any cracks. Such a sweet looking card too. I didn't pull that one out, but yeah, man, those are great looking cards. I love those Kellogg's cards, those old ones especially.
Yeah, they definitely have a unique look to those.
How about a Milton Bradley card? Ever see those?
No, so is it like a playing card type of thing?
It was actually a game, a board game, and these cards were included with the board game. And I'm not really sure of the process of how to play them, and that's what the back looks like.
It looks kind of like then that the Lajoie cards I've got up there. Of course, those are the whole deck was just Lajoie. So
Yeah, I don't think I'm familiar with that actually.
yeah, that's actually a 1913 Milton Bradley game. So
How about Clemente? This one was owned by Roberto Clemente himself from the Clemente personal collection.
sweet.
Yeah, that's a nice one. I've got a American Oil. That's Mickey Mantle.
Yeah,
Little oddball, little bit of oddball stuff there. How about some Willie Mays?
say hey.
There you go. I love this card right here. That blue background, gorgeous.
Yeah, I didn't even show you the shirt I wore today.
There you go. That's fitting then. Here's my '67.
Nice one.
I like that one. He's got a little smile on his face.
Yep.
And here's my '56. Got a real nice smile on his face on that one.
That one is nice. Have not added that one yet.
You have not?
No, I have not dipped into his New York years so far.
Yeah, well, takes time.
Yep.
Takes time. Here's some. This one is part of the top 100 of the 1980s. That's two for the title.
Who's the top left?
That's Mattingly and Dave.
Dave Winfield there.
Yep, yeah. And that's commemorating the batting race in 84, I believe. Winfield and Mattingly battled for the batting title right down to the last game of the season.
Yeah.
So that card is commemorating that.
Yeah, I think they were on a Fleer card I have together for that.
It's a what?
I think there was a Fleer card of the two of them that was talking about that I have.
Could be, yeah. Yeah, it was quite a batting race between the two of them that season. I think Mattingly ended up pulling it out by like 1 percentage point or something like that.
Yeah, Mattingly did win the title. Yep.
Yeah, by very close. Here's another one for the top 100 of the 1980s. George Brett and
Rod Carew.
Rod Carew, two great hitters.
Yeah.
So yeah, not only does that top 100 of the 1980s set contain all your top rookies of the decade, but a lot of different and unique cards like that. Interesting, fun cards too, you know.
Sure. So going back to YouTube a little bit. So one of the great things about you is that it's almost like I feel like you're almost the unofficial ambassador that welcomes new people to the YouTube community. I was wondering, how many channels do you watch regularly? Because it feels like you're commenting on everybody I watch.
Yep. I do not know the exact number, but I try to watch as many as I can. I typically have a lot of time on my hands during the day, and I spend a lot of time watching YouTube videos. I try to watch as many as I can. I just like you know I like to support people and what they're doing. When I see somebody that's a collector and they're getting on YouTube and they're showing their collection and they have passion for what they collect, like I watch everything. I don't have to watch somebody's. I don't watch just like people's channels that are like-minded as myself, which I have a lot of channels like that. But I mean, I watch channel people that rip packs. I watch channels people that do TTMs, um, vintage, modern. I don't care as long as they're passionate and they're entertaining. I'm happy to support them, and that's just the way I am. And I like to learn. I like to learn too. And I one way I learn about different cards and different parts of the hobby is by watching how other people are collecting and what they're saying about different cards and things like that. A lot of times I'll see someone show a card that I'm not familiar with again, and I'll go research it. I'll go find out as much information as I can about it and different players, people I haven't heard of, and things like that. You know, Terry, TJ Mac Vintage there on YouTube. I'm sure
Yeah,
you're probably familiar with him.
sure.
He shows a lot of vintage football and hockey players, and I don't know hardly anything about you know pre 1970 hockey and football. I don't really know except for like big time star Johnny Unitas and just some of the big time star players I've obviously heard of, but he shows these cards like guys I don't know, and he's talking about how great they were and giving the stats, and I'm like, holy Jesus! And I'll go,
Oh yeah.
research and read up on these guys, and it's fun way to learn for me just by watching different things that people are showing and talking about.
Oh yeah.
It's
There's a lot of people that have a lot of information to share, and it is kind of awesome. So
it's just enjoyable, and I don't, people, a lot of people appreciate, people that you watch somebody's video, you leave a thoughtful comment, people appreciate that, and that kind of makes me feel good too to know that somebody's appreciating me, appreciating their video.
and I'm one of those. I mean, you were giving me support practically my first month in. So
No, we all are,
yeah.
and that's the thing. I remember when I first started making videos. you know you do a video and you'd be lucky if you get double digit views, and
Oh yeah.
it's like you get to a point where it's like, what am I doing here? I'm making a video, but nobody's watching it.
Yeah.
But so I know, especially like you said, people starting out and things like that. But not even. But we all appreciate, when people watch our videos and comment and like, and even if they don't like, I'm open to criticism. So
Well,
it's
it's definitely appreciated out there, Jim. So
I think it's something, like I said, it's something we all
yeah.
appreciate. So yeah, I appreciate it just as much. Believe me.
And now I'm also wondering, how long is your Christmas card list this year? Because I saw so many people open something from you.
Yeah, I think I sent out maybe, I don't know the exact number. It was 20, maybe close to, it was less than 30, but probably around 25, maybe 27, something like that. I don't remember the exact number. I just pretty much, I got my address book over here, and just anybody that I've been interacting with on a consistent basis, I just wanted to send something to. If they were in my address book, I sent them something, and some people I didn't have their address, so I had been interacting with like yourself, and so I just wanted to send something. So I reached out and got some addresses. But yeah, that was fun. I enjoy sending stuff out. It's something that I really wish that I did on a regular basis, is to just send out care packages or do giveaways and things like that. And it's something that I don't do as much as I really would like to. So um, at the end of the year, holidays and stuff like that, I enjoyed sending them out, and I felt, it was fun. I like sending stuff to people. I
Well,
just don't do it as much as I want to.
I wanted you to know that you kicked things off for me and inspired me to write out and mail the first Christmas cards I've ever done in my life. So
Very good. That's cool.
and I
Yeah,
got my list up to 12 this year.
there
So
you go. That's hey, you know what? That's part of the fun of being involved in a community.
it is. And yeah, now I know I have to start planning for that in November. So
Or even earlier.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so next question is I've seen you talk here showing cards from PSA talking about the registry. See you throw out a few SGC. Is PSA the only one you send for grading yourself, or have you ever tried SGC or anyone else? Or
Yeah, I I usually send out um I usually at least 3 or 4 cards every month to get graded, and I strictly send cards to PSA.
because
I
you're
don't.
tied to the registry? Is that what that's all about then?
No, not necessarily. It's just
Uh,
I got involved with a group on Facebook, and they do PSA submissions, and part of it has to do with my OCD, because 98% of my collection is PSA graded, and so I just stick with PSA as much as I can. But like, um, when I get a chance to get a nice looking card that's in an SGC holder, I'm not gonna, that Satchel Page I have around here somewhere too. I mean, I'm not gonna turn it down. You know what I mean? I'm
yeah,
I'm gonna buy I'm gonna buy the card before I buy the slab. But I prefer PSA, and of course, with these set registries, I mean, you know, people that do set registries, I mean, PSA's kind of got you by the balls, because you
yeah,
can't add it to your set registry unless it's in a PSA slab. So
sure,
for my registries, sometimes I have to bite my tongue and walk away from an SGC card, because it's belongs to my registry, and so, but that's the way it is with the registries. And for that's one of the downfalls of doing the registry. But I get so much more enjoyment out of it that I can look past a few downfalls to you know participate with the registry. So it is what it is. But
okay,
I mean, just to answer your question, I've never sent anything to anybody but PSA. But you know, I'm not I'm not I'll buy an SGC card. Like I said, but
yeah.
I've never graded with them.
And as you can see behind you, I can't identify you with all at all with wanting everything to look the same. I
Hmm.
just don't understand that, right?
Well, that's as collectors by nature, I think that's all part of it.
Yeah,
So yeah, it is. It is what it is.
sure.
Uh,
Um, so when I did my side piece CVR, you came out with a response that surprised me, showing your Michael Jordan card collection.
yeah.
I just would have thought you would be a Celtic guy. Is
Oh, for sure.
okay?
Yeah. No,
Because
I'm definitely a Celtic guy, but I mean, come on, Jordan's the goat. You know.
yeah, you just admire the greatness there. I mean, I mean, I can dig that because being in California, it automatically made me then follow the Lakers during the '80s. But yeah, you know,
Yeah, so
now,
yeah, there was some epic battles there
yeah.
between the Lakers and the Celtics back in the '80s. That's for sure.
Oh yeah. But
I mean,
but now I can look back and admire how great, that guy was in the middle. So,
yep. Larry Bird. Yep, yeah. I love, Larry Bird probably is my all-time favorite player. I do have some cards of his. I just didn't really get into picking up his cards as the way I did with Jordan. Um, I guess I don't know. I guess it was just the time period where I grew up. You know, Jordan
well, it
came
just
out.
didn't. I mean, basketball didn't have the heyday, unfortunately, during Magic and Bird as far as cards go, with that big gap with nothing. So,
Yeah, that's true too. Um, I mean, I remember when I was in high school, my my I it, Air Jordans came out when I think I was in like 11th grade, maybe 10th grade. I don't remember the exact year, but the Air Jordans came out. I had to have them, and I begged and begged and begged my parents for so long to get me these things, and my father couldn't wrap his head around it. I think they were like $100 for Air Jordans back then, and he just couldn't imagine paying $100 for a pair of sneakers. And
yeah.
I begged, but and eventually Christmas time came around, and I got the Air Jordans for Christmas. So I actually owned the first pair of Air Jordans that came out. God, if I ever still had those sneakers today, I can't imagine what they're worth. I mean, of course, I wore the crap out of them, probably, but even ones with holes in them, I think it's valuable
Oh yeah,
nowadays.
I'm sure even old ones have some value, but yeah,
Yeah.
if you had some pristine ones in the box, I can't even imagine.
So
But
I mean, even back in the mid '80s and late '80s, Jordan was a big thing, and like I said, I was very much loved basketball, and
yeah,
even though the Celtics were my team, um, just I don't know, just Jordan was Jordan, and he was doing stuff that we never seen before on a basketball court, and
oh yeah,
then when the early '90s rolled around, and they started winning those titles as the Bulls, Jordan's the GOAT. I mean, I don't know. I
oh yeah. And there were
just
so many cool cards for basketball then in the '90s
the
when,
'90s basketball
yeah,
cards are just awesome. There are so many awesome cards, man. From the '90s basketball was awesome. The players and the teams and the way the game was played, but in addition to that, the cards were awesome too. There was
oh
some
yeah,
really great cards from the '90s. I did the baseball inserts too, but basketball. Even Jordan, he's got so many awesome cards. It's just a lot of great cards. I love them. I don't really, I don't really add to the collection very often, but I probably maybe pick up 2 or 3 Jordan cards a year at this point. So it is what it is, but
yeah,
I do enjoy looking at them.
sure. Well, you got an awesome collection, so
Thank you.
um, not a question. Just wanted to put it out there. If I was eligible to vote for the YouTube Sports Card Hall of Fame, you would be on my ballot, sir, because I just think you're a gem in the community
I
there. And
appreciate that.
from the videos I've seen, I honestly don't know if I'm going to get a chance to vote for you, sir. So, um,
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. It is what it is. It's fun. I've received quite a few votes. I don't think I'll get enough votes to make it in the top 5, but I'll probably be close.
we'll
But
see.
that doesn't really
You're definitely a
matter to me.
contender, but I know it's not important to you, but I think you deserve it, sir. So,
You know what? I was recognized by a lot of people that I admire in the hobby, and a lot of my friends, and I can't ask for any more than that. That to me, that's a win.
yeah, absolutely. So,
Thank you. I appreciate you saying that too.
well, thank you. You deserve it. Now it's on to random questions for Jim here. Uh, What is your earliest memory?
Earliest memory of
Anything. Myself, the earliest thing I can recall is in a day in preschool when I got stuck with the pedal tractor and I really wanted the pedal cars because they were much faster. That's the only one memory I know of that's early enough that is not confused with just seeing a photograph. So, because there is no photograph of this.
um boy, that's a great question. My earliest memory. The older you get, the least far back you can remember. But
Come on, you're only a few years older than me.
I know, but my brain is all filled up. No, I think maybe my earliest memory would be going to school as a kindergartner. I can remember some things in kindergarten. I can remember my teacher teaching me how to read like the Dick and Jane books and stuff like that when I was in kindergarten.
Yeah.
I would have to say that that's probably my earliest type of memory.
Okay.
Yeah.
Who's the most famous person you've ever encountered in real life?
Encountered?
Yeah, like right there in front of you in the flesh.
Probably Tom Brady.
Oh.
Great story, man. Um, the Patriots used to practice their preseason. This is before Gillette Stadium. The Patriots practiced their preseason not too far from me in Smithfield, Rhode Island at Bryant College. And this was 2000, probably 2000. Brady was a rookie. And I took my son, who was very young, maybe my son was like 4 years old. And I took my son over to watch the Patriots practice. And probably halfway through the practice, it started downpouring. It was raining, raining, raining. And of course, Drew Bledsoe at the time was the quarterback of the Patriots. Okay, nobody knew who Tom Brady was.
Oh
He was
yeah, he was a fifth rounder, wasn't he?
sixth round or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But this was the preseason before his rookie season, so we didn't even know. I mean, he probably didn't even know if he was going to make the team at this point.
Yeah.
And so downpouring rain, and I had brought a little mini helmet with me so I could go with my son and we could try and get autographs and stuff like that. And we got some autographs, a few different players and stuff like that. But the practice was ending, I guess maybe because it started raining so hard, and the practice was ending, and like all the players came. They had like a barrier like this, and the players would run up the middle to go into the building, and fans would line up on each side of the barriers. And so, but everybody had left, like people were gone, and there was hardly anybody there. And they were bringing this equipment cart off the field, and there was like a lot of mud there, and the equipment cart got stuck in the mud. And I'm standing there, my son's standing there next to me, and there's like some people that work for the team, like some trainers or something like that, and they're trying to drag this cart through this mud. And I was standing shoulder to shoulder with a player. I had no idea who it was. And I looked at him, and he looked at me, and I had this little mini helmet in my hand, and he said, "Hey, you want me to sign that for you?" Not knowing who he was, knowing that it wasn't like Drew Bledsoe or some, big name player. Yeah. I kind of felt bad. I'm not going to say, no, I don't want you to sign this, So I said, sure, go ahead, why not? I handed it to him. He signed it. Tom Brady right on there, Again, didn't know who the hell Tom Brady was. So, so ended up the next year, Tom Brady leads the Patriots to a Super Bowl championship, and I'm like thinking about that helmet. I'm like, that guy, that was Tom Brady. And look, sure enough, yep, Tom Brady.
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was great. It was great, man. I gave the helmet to my son, and he still has it. And he was, like I said, he was 4 years old at the time, so he kind of remembers, but not really the details. You know what I mean?
Sure.
But I mean, obviously, I tell him the story every time I see that helmet. But yeah, so I would say that was definitely the most famous person I've ever encountered.
That's an awesome story. Third question: what's your favorite song?
Favorite song: "Stairway to Heaven" by Led Zeppelin. I would say.
Classic.
Yep, I actually a big Led Zeppelin fan. I like all their music, but "Stairway to Heaven" probably one of my favorites.
What was your best Halloween costume?
Um, Ace Frehley from Kiss.
Oh wow!
Yep, my aunt was I don't know. She was all into like the glamour and the makeup, and she did up my whole face. I had the wig, I had the clothes. I was young too. I was maybe 13, 14 years old, 13 maybe.
Oh,
And
we got to see some pictures of that one.
there's. I'm sure if I go digging through my mom's house, there's probably a picture around somewhere, but I definitely had pictures at one time, but I don't know where to find them now. But I probably have some.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was definitely without a doubt.
Well, that's awesome. What is your favorite animal?
My favorite animal, a dog. A dog's, I think.
They're man's best friend, right?
I have three of them, so I must like them. Actually, only one of them's mine. The other two belong. My kids keep bringing home all these animals. I got a rabbit. I got three dogs. I don't know. They keep bringing them home, and then next thing you know, they stay here, and next thing you know, there's my wife and I that are taking care of them.
Exactly. Yeah, my kids wanted a dog once we got COVID lockdown, and we got one. And yeah, who ends up taking care of it? Mom and dad.
They make all the promises ahead of time. Oh, I'll walk them. I'll take care of them. I'll do this. I'll do that. And then once it's settled, that's the last of it. And then now it's your job. But no, I like dogs, so whatever. Yeah, dogs are my favorite animals.
Okay. Uh, if you had the ability to switch lives with anyone for a day, who would it be?
Which lives for anyone? Great question. That's a great question. Give me a second. Let me think about that for 1 second. Anyone alive or anyone?
Uh, Open it up. You could make it anyone in history for all I care.
Anyone in history? I would. Oh boy. I might change. I might, if the longer I think about it, I might change my answer. But off the top of my head, anyone in history? How about Albert Einstein?
Well, you want to know all the secrets he had in his head for at least a moment
Oh
and be able to
yeah, I
understand them.
mean, yeah, I think that'd be pretty cool. Figuring out how to invent stuff.
Sure.
But like I said, I might change that. Maybe Neil Armstrong would be another good answer, right? Astronaut.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You want to switch the day you walked on the moon, huh?
Yeah, that's the day. That's the one I want. Yep, that one.
All right.
That particular day. That would be cool. I mean, come on.
Uh, do you have a favorite movie?
Favorite movie? Yeah. Favorite movie. Let's see. Hangover.
All right, that's a comedy classic.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I laugh my ass off every time.
All right, I'm up to question 8. What was your favorite subject in school?
um, my favorite subject in school was history. Well, besides phys ed, I would say history.
Yeah, most guys enjoyed PE, right? Then you got to play sports for an hour.
That was my favorite. But yeah, and then but the actual learning subject, I would say, yep, history for sure. I've always been a bit of a history buff and definitely enjoy learning about history. So yeah.
Cool. Uh, Number 9. What's your favorite beverage?
Um, Beverage. Mostly I drink water, but I do enjoy some Jack Daniels on the weekends. So probably water, I would say.
I'm
Is
right
that
there with you.
is that a beverage?
Technically, it's. I mean, it's a liquid, right?
It's a liquid, yeah. So yeah, I would say water.
Okay. Uh, Last question in my 10 random questions here. Who was the biggest influence that helped you become such a nice guy?
Geez, I don't know. Probably my father. My father was the biggest influence on my life all around.
Awesome.
So I think a lot of us maybe can say that, but yeah, my
Sure.
dad.
Well, it was great to have you on the show, Jim. Any last things you'd like to share with the audience?
Yeah, no, it was a pleasure. I appreciate you having me, and very much enjoyed. I can't actually believe that we've been talking for an hour. It seems like it hasn't been that long, but yeah, no, I appreciate you having me. Just like I told you before, I mean, I'm always loving to talk with fellow collectors and like-minded people, and it was a great conversation. I appreciate you asking me.
Well, thanks for coming on. I am having loads of fun getting to know people who I've enjoyed watching. So uh, it was absolutely my pleasure, sir. So,
Thank you.
um, so thanks everybody for watching, and I will see you next time.
Later.
All right. So I'm